Welcome to the Peak Performance and Peak Satisfaction podcast with Master Executive Coach Sherry Gregoff. Sherry helps business people perform better, get rewarded handsomely, and actually enjoy their work. After having her own career turnaround, she now helps other high-powered business professionals experience the same. Join the movement to work differently.
Welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. This week, I'm doing something a little different. I'm streaming the audio from my debut vodcast episode. You heard it here, video podcast. It is entitled How to Increase the ROI on Your Work for More Impact in Less Hours, and finally, Stop Overworking. I am so excited to offer this unique opportunity directly to you in a brand new format with the visuals to help communicate this content. If you're interested in watching instead of listening, you can find the full vodcast episode at the first link in the show notes. Or listen on and see firsthand this first installment of how to increase your success and satisfaction in this special summer series. I have 7 episodes lined up for you that will drop week after week. This gives you an opportunity to practice the new habit each week and build upon each of them as we go. This first episode is available now, and to join me for the rest of the free series, just register at the link to unlock instant access to episode number 2, entitled Prevent Burnout by Turning the Energy Faucet on and off at will, and quit overstressing. Check out this special episode today, and I will see you inside the series. Welcome to my Success and Satisfaction series. It's so great to have you here, and I'm happy to bring you an in-depth look at our most common habits as business professionals and offer you an alternative. Upgraded habits for more success and satisfaction. So we're going to get right into it today. In this vodcast episode, I'm showing you how to increase the ROI on your work for more impact in less hours. And finally, stop overworking. So first, let's look at the dilemma. So we've got this beautiful drawing here of the scale with the cost tending to outweigh the benefits. So what are some of the costs in our work? It's the energy, the hours that we're pouring into our work. Energy, hours, this is the overworking habit that we tend to do. And let's define and get really specific what I mean when I say overworking. So my definition is working more hours and with less breaks than a reasonable person would expect or prescribe. So, the 40-hour work week, 9 to 5, it may sound like a thing of the past, I know. And depending on the function, industry, time of year, this can vary widely, obviously, in practice. It may be the norm for your industry, your company, your team, your age, your circle of friends, or just you to overwork. And we know that we're not scared of hard work. I get it. I do, trust me. But we may start to notice that we are working really hard and we don't have the results to show for our increasing hours of work. So again, those benefits that we might expect, like promotion, compensation, recognition, all of our favorite things, rewards. We may expect those to be commensurate with the effort that we're putting in, the energy and hours, but sometimes it's not. And yet we keep working and it becomes like this hamster wheel that we may feel like we can't stop this overworking. We may see overworking as part of our identity. So if you've got this balance or lack of balance going on, I want you to stick with me and I'm going to show you how to unpack. Why do we do this? How do we stop? And why will we be better off for it? So this is a framework I'm going to take you through to understand what is behind this overworking. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you, again, the overworking as we defined as more hours than you would ever expect or prescribe of a reasonable human being. So we're working all the hours. This is generally, we're working through lunch breaks, we're working nights, weekends, vacations. Oh man, I've done it all. I have done it all. I don't know if you're with me. But what happens when we do this overworking? We generally get given more work to do. And so then we work more. The more work we do, the more work is handed to us. And so the cycle of this habit continues. And we find that there is a rush to this work. So we tend to be rushing through all that work that is piling on, and we think about just what is like the outcome of all this overworking. It's that most of the hours in our day is allocated to work, and really that's reflecting that our number one priority is work. So we allocate hours to what's important. Work is number one. And that could be in our calendars, but also in our identity. So the importance that we assign to the work that we do as our main identity. It's who we are. It's the dominating consumer of our time, and even the dominating force in how we see ourselves. It's just who we are. It's our most important role. So logically, it's going to dominate our calendar and our identity. So that's the outcome of this habit that we have of overworking. So let's talk about this habit when we're in the moment and we're making the decision. Do we keep working or is it time to call it a day? Let's think about what state we're in when that happens, when we decide to work late again or work through a break or a meal. It's typically back to that hurry, that rushing. So why do we feel so hurried? It's because we feel behind on our career advancement. So we feel behind, we've got hurry, rushing, and if we've missed career goals or we've stalled on our career path, we may be feeling like we have to make up for lost time or we have to hurry to produce more output. So this is the state we're in when we decide that we're going to overwork again and we have these outcomes. So let's look at, what are we thinking? What is our perspective? What are we believing that causes us to feel this way, to take these actions and to create these outcomes? So this is where the magic happens. This is the root cause of this whole habit, this whole routine that we tend to follow as we overwork. So it's our perspective. It's what we believe to be true about how the world works. We might say it to ourselves or say it to others, and we may repeat it over and over. Or it might be more stealth. It might be in our subconscious because it was said around us or over us, even from childhood. So whether we're aware of it and we're saying it verbally, or it's just playing like as a soundtrack in our minds, this perspective is what's driving us to make the decisions that we do, take the actions that we do. It forms the habits that we have. It's what we see as like a universal law of just how the world works. So underneath this pull to overwork is this perspective. Maybe this sounds familiar. It's that hard work breeds success. And I'll actually add on to it a bit more to specify that it's like, it goes like this. It's an equation. The more hours we work, the more output we create, the more value we create. And so, of course, we believe we'll have more success the more value that we create. So this is our perspective. This is what we believe to be true. Hard work breeds success. The more work, the more we produce, the more valuable we are, the more success we'll enjoy. So now, some of this might go back to when we were young. Maybe we were told time and time again to work hard, to try your best. And it sounds so innocent. I've said it to my kids too. But without a limit of how much hard work is enough, we tend to overdo it. We have underneath this a basic human need to make a contribution, to leave an impact. And we may surmise that hard work is the remedy for when we don't achieve the outcomes that we want. It can become our default mode. So underneath this, that basic human need of contribution, this is like what's fueling this whole cycle. It's like a bit of a downward spiral. It's a vicious cycle, okay? And again, it could be our default mode. So we feel that we have to give our work our all. And we do that in quantity. We may experience guilt, actually, if we don't overwork. We get used to it. We think it's the right thing to do. We may take pride in saying, no one can outwork us. We think that what we'll get out of this overworking is the feeling of being valuable and making a contribution. So now that we understand why it is that we overwork, the state that we're in when we decide to overwork, to stay late again, the outcomes that it sets us up for, work being the priority, and honestly the most painful part of the outcomes is the low ROI. So again, we've got the costs outweighing the benefits. We're working really hard and we feel like we don't really have the results that we want to show for it. And then we got to the heart, the root cause of it all, our perspective on work, how we believe the world works, that hard work breeds success, and so more is more. So now let's turn to the upgrade. So if you know me and you know my work, you know I point to working differently for better results. Now, to get your brain on board, to break this overworking habit for good, we're going to use the same framework, okay? And when I teach my clients how to change a habit, it's not through brute force. You'll never hear one of my clients say that they should work less hours. Should is like the bad SH word around here for me. So we, instead of shoulding ourselves into, I'm supposed to work less, Sherry told me to work less, I guess I should do that. Instead, we're going to start with upgrading our perspective, what we see as a universal law of how the world works. And this is like, it ends up being like pulling on the single thread that unravels that whole vicious, that destructive downward spiral, that cycle that we just covered. So the old universal law that was hard work breeds success. So if you want more success, you work harder. I'm going to ask you to apply a different litmus test. How would you encourage a child you care about to work as a grown adult, wanting what's in their best interests? Would you suggest a break in the workday to eat food without shoveling it in over a keyboard? Would you recommend start and end times that allow for a full life outside of work? If you are working more than this and with less breaks, then yes, let's characterize it as overworking for our purposes here today. So this is a judgment-free and shame-free zone. I can guarantee that I have done it all and likely worse. So I'm definitely right there with you. But what I want you to hear today, if there's a single takeaway from this podcast episode, it's that overworking is actually taking us further away from achieving our goals. And we know it can feel pretty miserable even as we are doing it. It's less productive and it offers less satisfaction. And that's why we're upgrading this habit for good today. It's just a pattern we have based on bad information. Here's how we make a change. It starts with the perspective shift. So the quality of our work and the quality of our output matters more than the quantity. So we choose only high ROI work to have more success. Only high ROI work. So again, we're considering the trade-off, the cost-benefit analysis of every activity that we devote our time to. This is how we get more success. It's got to be high ROI. And if we only choose high ROI activities, we're carefully stewarding our attention. We measure our impact instead of hours, quality over quantity. Impact over hours. So this is our perspective when we recognize this is truly more accurate of how the world works, then we feel more empowered. We feel more proactive. We feel more intentional with how we spend our time. It's like we're taking the power back over our workday, over our calendar, and we're making decisions to only do those activities that have high impact. So now this is our perspective. This is the state we're in. We're feeling really empowered, proactive, intentional. And now, what do we choose as our actions? What are the new habits that we're going to build right here today? The strategic action that's going to take us closer to the success and satisfaction that we want. So the action that will continue this virtuous cycle now, this positive upward spiral that starts with our perspective, creates a state, we choose a habit and action, and then there's an outcome. So the habits that we're going to choose, and I'm going to show you how to build these habits today. Number one, prioritization. And number two, setting boundaries. This is the action that we're choosing when we're in this state of feeling empowered. And interestingly, when we do this, when we're prioritizing effectively, when we're setting healthy boundaries and honoring them, the outcomes that are created here is the high ROI work that we're after. So by high ROI, what I mean is we're going to be achieving our career, our business objectives, which means, by the way, we're going to feel less hurried. We're going to feel less behind. So it's so counterintuitive, but it's actually the hours that we're working are going to go down, but the quality is going to go up. The impact is going to go up. The outcomes in terms of reward and recognition are going to go up. This may seem obvious, but notice how in the moment before in that vicious cycle, we can't see this. We're just defaulting to that overworking that we know so well. So our time spent here, the outcome, goes much farther. We've got improved performance ratings. Those career and business goals, we're knocking them out. So are you in? Okay? It's pretty compelling, I think. Again, this virtuous now cycle. We took the vicious cycle, now we've made it virtuous. So let's get into the strategic action to choose instead of overworking and how to do it. We're going to make it really simple. I'm doing this today so you can practice this all week. So number one, we're prioritizing. And this, you may think like, okay, Sherry, how do I look at my calendar tomorrow? I'm already overbooked. I don't have time to do the meaningful work. Where do I even begin? So one tip to do to begin this habit now of prioritization is to stack, rank, order your priorities for the day. And so if you were to fast forward to the end of the day and come up with 3 things that made this a good, productive day, a high ROI day, what would they be? So I put mine, I get a little old school, I put mine on a Post-it. 1, 2, 3. This is a drawing of my little Post-it here. I don't have a clean one to show you right now, but I use them. And here's why. It's visual. It's apart from my electronic calendar, all the documents I have going. It's just very simple, very visual. It keeps the tendency that we have to run after the urgent and just stick to what we decided was important. So when I get through those 3 items, I crumple up the paper and throw it away. It's like so satisfying. And I will say that when anything comes up to interrupt your plan, the fire drill of the day, someone needs you urgently, I'm asking you to take a beat and assess. Before you jump into that other thing that's not in your top 3, consider, do I need to do this other thing now, later, or never? Every time, the interruption, before we just jump to it, is to really think about, do I need to do this now, later, never? And also, this is a fun one, does it need to be me? So whether you're a manager with a team that you can hand that fire drill off to, or you have peers, you're a part of a bigger team, does this need to be you? And if you're doing this effectively, those 3 priorities, they're going to remain intact. Even if number 3 gets axed and it becomes this new emergency, still the whole idea is that at the end of the day, no matter what was blowing up around you at work, at the end of the day, you spent your time and your effort and your talent where it would really move the needle. And once you can answer that for yourself daily and see yourself getting the most important things done, you will grow your confidence. And it will start to feel like every workday was a day well spent. So this is just one small tip, one way to master prioritization, but you can start using it today. The second thing to do, the second strategic action, the second habit that we're going to start practicing this week is setting boundaries. Wow, did we know we could do that? I actually had a client tell me, I said, it's time to designate your non-negotiables. She said to me, wait a minute, do I get those? I thought it was only for the executives at the top of our company that I work with, not really for me. So listen up. It's for you too. No one hands non-negotiables to you or healthy boundaries to you. You take them. It's kind of like that corner office. I wish I had taken a few, but that's a story for another day. But I want you to start with this idea of setting boundaries. Start by just thinking through, what are your non-negotiables in your work right now? How about a start time for your work? A stop time, a hard stop time for your work? And then what breaks are going to be non-negotiable for you? Maybe it's eating lunch mindfully. Maybe it's stepping outside or even taking a walk outside. If you aren't leaving time for a full life outside of your work, it is proven the quality of your work suffers. On the other hand, if you're resting and recharging your brain, your body, your work effort will be far more impactful. Even breaks, I know we're talking start and end time, but the breaks, which may sound so like, do people do those anymore? I promise you, if you were banging your head against the table on a work problem, a challenge that you just cannot see the way forward, take a walk outside. And as soon as your body, is calmed down, you're kind of more in an easier state of flow, that is when the creative ideas come. But if you never take those breaks, you will never get that gold that is in the rest that will actually help you when you turn back to your work. That's the whole idea of these boundaries. Now, honoring these boundaries in the moment, it takes integrity. Say, no, I'm going to have lunch now. Can't do that meeting now. But honoring them, setting them in advance, that takes excellence. So I'm asking you to set these boundaries and then book them in your calendar and decide they are non-negotiable. Tell everybody you know. If you have an assistant, tell that assistant. That does not get moved. And if people ask or they schedule over your breaks or your start or end time, I'm giving you permission right now to push back. You will excel in your work more by investing in your well-being. This is a practice, okay? The prioritization, the setting boundaries, it's mastering new skills and mindsets. This is what I help clients do day after day until it becomes their new habit with the increased ease and greater impact that they wanted. So it's time to put what you have learned to work today. And if you could use support in making this your new habit, book time on my calendar now at sherrygregov.com. I will see you in the next episode in our special summer series where we are taking every habit to create more success, more satisfaction. We're taking our old habits, those downward spirals, and we are flipping them to upward spirals. So I will see you inside our private podcast together, and don't miss the next episode. Until then.
Looking for support in applying the principles and strategies in today's episode? Sherry coaches clients one-on-one as their trusted confidant and advisor, helping each client create the work and life they had only dreamed of. To schedule your complimentary career strategy session, go to sherrygregov.com/apply to book time with her today. It's one simple step that can change everything.